All right. Well, this is good evening. This is I did this. This is sort of a new thing that I've done. Although I did this with Steelers Nation Australia a couple of months ago. He's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but I've got here Llewellyn. He's of the Sports Club. He's from South Africa, and he's as big a sports fan as I am apparently. So, Llewellyn, did you want to just quickly introduce yourself, and then yeah, and then we'll go from there.
What's up, everyone? This is Alan. Yeah, if you read on my Instagram, it will say I'm a professional sports fan. I watch everything from A to Z. Name it, I probably will know about it a bit. Won't be a pro, but hey, I might know a thing or two.
Nice. Is there any sport that you watch every sport like? Is there any particular sport that you're definitely like, no, this is not for me?
Not really. I always thought, like football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, I always thought that was something that I was never interested in. But even recently, I've been getting into that like a lot. Like, I don't watch the games in full, but I know what's going on around it. Like, I know what's going on in the World Cup qualifiers. Just all of a sudden, I'm following it. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I guess because in South Africa, because it I guess yeah, like soccer. I guess I don't. What do you call it? What do most South Africans call
We call it soccer, but
association
some call
football?
it foot. So it's, I don't know. Call it whatever you want.
Yeah. Because in New Zealand, I think, it's quite weird because obviously rugby, which I understand is your number one, that's out of all the sports, that's probably the sport you follow the closest. Was that right? Or I think,
That and Formula
yeah,
One.
yeah. So rugby, I guess it's a similar like in New Zealand as well, because rugby, was it started out as a football code, and everyone who's played rugby, they call it footy for football, and same as Australia as well, or America, and then of course America is the NFL and American football, so they have to call the game everyone calls football soccer. So it gets a bit confused, like, so I ended up saying soccer football, but I think with I don't know what it's like over there, and so like we've got more people coming over from like Europe and the UK, and it's become like, oh no, you've got to call it football. That's like, you don't soccer, only Americans call it soccer, although
No, it's
that's not
same
actually
this side.
yeah. No, actually, it's the Brits who actually that's a bit of an urban legend that Americans call it soccer. It's actually the Brits who invented it because it's short for association football. Do you have a team in? Or because since staying on, do you have a team in soccer, football that you follow?
Barcelona all the way,
Oh,
all the way.
oh, oh, yeah. This do you know much about? Do you sort of are you up to where the club is at? All the issues they've at the moment.
Not really. I mostly follow the major tournament, like like the Euros and then the Champions League. Those. I'm not that big with when it comes to like the in between with the clubs because, like I said, I don't really watch a lot of football or soccer,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
you want.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I
And
heard the
yeah,
entire cards. I heard that, but
they're,
I don't want to,
they it's an interesting last couple of years, that's for sure. Like with all the financial, they're trying to build. They've rebuilt the camp now, or that their home ground, and yeah, but they're just like they're apparently broke, and they have to, they couldn't. It's a crazy scenario, but yeah. Have you ever have you ever been to I guess have you traveled outside South Africa, like, or like gone to Europe or
I've
those?
been to Tanzania once.
Where's that? Sorry.
I've been to Tanzania once.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. What? Oh, that. Yeah. What's it like?
That's pretty nice. I mean, the people there are very wonderful, very friendly. Maybe the nicest people
Oh,
you'll ever meet.
yeah. I went back when I was younger. I did a round the world trip. Like I did. Well, I'm originally from Malaysia, but I've lived in New Zealand for 21 years. So I can call myself. Yeah, I'm pretty much naturalized Kiwi. But yeah, I've been to Europe, North America. Would have loved to have done Africa, but I mean, who knows when that's gonna happen? But Yeah, but yeah, no, I was the reason I was going to ask us. What's that?
Speaking of
Sorry.
Malaysia, I'm saying, speaking of Malaysia, we have to bring back that Grand Prix for Formula One. That's like one of my favorite tracks ever.
Yeah, I've been to that race twice actually. Yeah.
It's like my
Was it
favorite track
2000,
ever.
2002? Yeah. It's all right. It's hot. That's for sure. It's
Uh,
yeah. I guess it's uh, yeah. Like I mean, for it was I was young and it's a Formula One race, so it's pretty special. But
I
I
think
I
mine is
think
also nostalgia because
yeah.
playing the games, you know.
Yeah. It's I mean because it's quite tricky. Also, I think one because you're only it's so big. You're in only one. You can only you end up watching most of the race on the big screen because you just only start at one
Yeah,
side, and you kind of have to hope it's the side where there's a lot of action and can be a bit iffy. Yeah, I think I think the first time I was on this back straight or like sitting in the back street, and then I think the other time was on the hill. So with my so that was pretty cool. Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, yeah, they did talk about it coming. The Malaysian government the new Malaysian government was trying to bring it, but that's the reason they cancelled it because it was like they've just run out. They wanted to cut costs, and it was just like because that was the Singapore Grand Prix, which it's a street race, it's at night, and it's probably a lot more people know about Singapore. So the Malaysian Grand
yeah,
Prix was struggling, which is a shame. But like they still have they have MotoGP and it's and others motorsports. But oh well, you never know if it's a night race, that could be also motor. That but yeah. Oh wow. Well, I think because before this intro, I think speaking to everyone, we were sort of talking about you're you're a big your favorite driver currently is Lando Norris.
always. You gotta.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very good on track, and he's got a great personality off track. He's like, you know,
Yeah. It seems like a pretty cool guy. Like I've seen videos of him just doing like sim racing, that sort of thing, and yeah, he seems pretty cool. Yeah, and like his best friends with I don't know if they're still best friends or not with Max Verstappen. Cause after what was that race where it was Austria, wasn't it? That they had that where they took each other out and
yeah, it was Osho where they made contact when Lando got retired, and you know, Max
yeah
got damage.
yeah. And it's one of those sports where like yeah it's hard. I can't imagine it must be like I mean there'll be they can be friends. I guess off the track they'll talk to each other like Lewis and Max and all that, and they seem jokey. But when I guess I guess it's quite hard to be like really close friends because it's such it's a sport where you have to you want to be the drivers champion, you want to finish first, so that's always going to mean that you have to you're always racing with with someone else, and it's quite hard. It's like, oh, but he's my friend, and it's like, I guess I don't know. It just seems like, as compared to like rugby and other
Yeah,
sports, it's just it's like, yeah, how on earth do they do it?
but the
Yeah,
thing is, when you make contact with each other, it happens in like seconds. So you mean, and you're gonna get mad at each other no matter what, and no matter whose fault it is, both of them are gonna be mad at each other because it's never your
yeah,
fault. If you understand what
yeah.
I mean, there.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And it's racing. I mean,
Rubbing is
yeah,
racing.
yeah, it's a racing incident, and yeah, I mean, it makes for great team. Like, I think certainly this season in F1 has been great. Yeah, like certainly compared to last season and the last part of the season before. It's like, oh, well, and we've got how many Grand Prix how many? I think there was someone was saying we've had was it 7 different race winners this year? Was that
Let me
right?
just quickly think.
I
With
think
Perez hasn't
yeah,
won, so I think
yeah.
seven could be accurate. Maybe six.
Yeah, which
Perez, Perez hasn't won, and then both Mercedes has won. Both
yeah,
Ferrari has won.
both Ferrari
Verstappen has
driver,
won.
both McLarens,
Yeah, that's
and
seven then.
except and then the only one out of the top four who hasn't won. I'm Sergio Perez. Has he won a
Yeah.
race? No, I don't. No, I don't think.
No, he hasn't won this year.
Yeah. What
He
What
has
are your
not.
thoughts? No. What are your thoughts? Do you think Sergio's, like, do you think Sergio will be around at Red Bull after, when, because I guess there's next weekend's the Belgian Grand Prix, and then they've got 3 weeks off. What do you think of
I'm not gonna lie
Sergio?
to you. I'm maybe one of the biggest Sergio Perez defenders in the world. Like I'll defend that man
Oh,
like he
okay.
defends Max Verstappen. But it's getting hard, you know.
It
It's getting
is.
hard.
Oh yeah. I don't. Oh yeah. Look, I know. I know. Yeah. I think I get, yeah, he's getting a lot of criticism now, but I mean, because I obviously, yeah, I've sort of followed Sergio for quite a while, and I know he's been in Formula One a lot longer, and I guess, yeah, I think he probably deserves a bit more respect, given, I can see where the criticism is coming from, um, and I can see, I'm not, yeah, I guess it's kind of, I guess it's Formula One. I don't, it's because I guess it's the drive to survive thing. The element, like, oh, everything's now, because everything back in the day, it was like, there was a bit of, a lot of things were hidden. Nowadays everything is out in the open F1, so it's like if
That's true.
someone's not performing, and then you can see, and then you can sort of see like Christian Horner, like, just like, oh no, shaking his head. It's like, it's so dramatic, and people often mistake that that's the real thing. And I guess that kind of hurts Sergio a bit. But yeah, I mean, it is. And then I'm also thinking like Red Bull as well. Like, they've got a history of firing drivers. They're not afraid to fire drivers halfway through the season. So it's like, oh, I mean,
They
I
are
guess
ruthless.
from a Kiwi perspective, I mean, if Sergio Perez does go, that means they're saying, I think, and this is from like,
Yeah.
they're saying from this is like, I don't know if you like all the sort of the reporters, and like from Autosport magazine, or the F1 reporters, they're saying that Daniel Ricciardo is probably gonna be promoted into the Red Bull team, and then that frees up. So there's Yuki Tsunoda, who I don't know. They've never rated as, someone who's going to take, they've never rated him, and like said he's, promoted him for the, they've never wanted him in the first team. And but that means Yuki Tsunoda and Liam Lawson will be at was it cash at whatever RB, that the Toro Rosso,
Yeah. Cash
AlphaTauri.
up party,
So it's like,
whatever.
yeah. So it's like, yes, Liam Lawson's back in F1. So I'm like, so that's a little bit of me, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but we'll see. Yeah, we shall see. But
Exactly. So that's good for the New Zealand crowd.
oh yeah, because Lawson when Lawson got into F1 last, was it last season?
There's
Yeah,
lots
like they just suddenly,
about
just
three
shot up.
races.
The attention just shot up. Yeah, I think it was around the same time last year, wasn't it? Because he came in for Daniel Ricciardo. Was it Daniel Ricciardo broke his fingers at the Dutch Grand
Yeah,
Prix? Was it? So
Ricardo
yeah,
broke his wrist at the Dutch Grand Prix when he avoided a crash with Piastri, I think.
that's right. It was like two Australians. One the effective, like, yeah, one Australian took the other guy. So it's actually going to be like a year since Liam Lawson made his Grand Prix debut. So no, it's
That must
funny
be
how it's
working
like,
for points.
that's going to be crazy. Yeah, 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 yeah. Do you think Lando's got a shot of winning the title?
Not
I mean,
this year. Not this year. I feel Max and Red Bull had a good enough start, just a good enough start to get that buffer to make sure
yeah,
that
yeah,
they win it. Because I
yeah,
mean, they're already what 100 or something points ahead of everyone else. I'm not sure if they're going to win the constructors with Perez's performance. I mean, McLaren is pretty fast at the moment,
yeah,
and they are getting constant high points results. So, but the
yeah,
driver's title, I think they have Verstappen has it by now. It's not
yeah.
secure, it's never a done deal, but I feel they have that buffer to just
Like they've
push
got
through
like
to the
11
end.
races left, so I mean, it's gonna be like Max has to be like not finish on the podium. Even then, who knows?
Constantly.
Like, Max doesn't have to win any more races. He just, it's
Needs
gonna
to
be,
be
yeah,
constant.
yeah. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah. So I think it sounds like the constructors race is gonna be more interesting. Yeah. Um. Look, actually, I should. Yeah, we're just talking sport, really. I mean, we both love sport.
Very
I
true.
yeah, and what do you? Oh yeah, I was gonna. So you've got. I mean, New Zealand's probably not going to host a Grand Prix. I mean, there used to be the New Zealand Grand Prix back in the 1950s, 60s. They which used to have hosted F1, but they actually still have it. They still have an event called New Zealand Grand Prix. I think it's
In
I'm not sure.
the Formula Regional Oceania, I
That's
just
right. Yeah, 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 yeah.
go
I
with the
think it's pretty
Toyota
good
Racing
though.
Series.
I'm not sure where it is now, but yeah. Well,
I
they
know it
said
used to be at Islands, I think, a couple of years back.
yeah, yeah. Like it's a lot of
But
like
I'm
I haven't
also
really
not sure
particularly
now.
followed it, but I sort of know about.
I haven't watched, the last time I watched the New Zealand Grand Prix was in 2021 when Shane van Gisbergen won it.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
SVG.
I'm not, yeah, I'm not really reaching. I don't really watch the Formula Regional Oceania because I don't feel the
No,
competition
it's just not
not
enough
as big
time.
as it
It's
used to
just too.
be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't even.
They
Yeah,
used to
like
have
I
a
know
lot of.
about it.
It used to be the premier racing series for everybody to go to get themselves ready for the Formula 3 and Formula 2. But now that's turned to the Asian Championship because nobody goes to New
Yeah.
Zealand to race anymore. It's only
No,
local guys now.
it's so weird because New Zealand's got like a really, like Bruce McLaren's from New Zealand, and then Danny Hull, and
Exactly.
Scott Dix. We still produce good drivers, but they all have to go
Yeah,
to like Europe or America to do well, or Australia. I
exactly.
mean, yeah, yeah. So like Shane Van is, Australia, Scott McLaughlin. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's just well, it's just. I mean, there are sponsors, but like
yeah. But
Scott Dixon
if you
sponsors,
look
but
at
they're
it this
just too
way,
small. Yeah,
But if you look at it this way, the New Zealand Grand Prix used to be a big thing for junior drivers to go after and win in
yeah,
the Formula 3 level. That other people would come back and, compete in it again just to win that one race. They wouldn't
yeah.
compete the whole season. But now you don't hear about it anymore. You used
No,
to hear
it's
Lando Norris, he's a Formula New Zealand Grand Prix winner. Marcus Armstrong, I think Liam Lawson won it.
yeah,
There's a
yeah,
big, there's actually a long list of drivers
yeah,
who won the New Zealand Grand Prix. But it's not
yeah.
getting
It's
spoken about anymore.
no, it's motorsport. Like, I mean, yeah, that's I guess here. I mean, it's yeah, like it's small fry. I mean, all there's the All Blacks. They just dominate everything. Even but yeah, like motorsport. I mean, unless there's like a New Zealand driver, like I mean Brendan Hartley. I mean, he had one full season, that was great, and then Liam Lawson, yeah, but it might, yeah, it'll just be like, it's kind of you have to be an F1 fan. But I was gonna ask, like, I think it might have been a couple of years ago, like they were saying they were thinking they might. I think they were. F1 was really keen to get a Grand Prix back in South Africa at Kailami,
I
and
don't even
but
want to talk about that because every year we hear they're gonna try and get it
right,
back. They're gonna try and get it back, but it never goes anywhere. I think the other day, like 2 days ago, our Minister of Sport he says his team is not gonna stop until we get it back. It's these rumors have been going on for so many years. I've lost hope. I've lost
right,
faith.
okay. Yeah,
I don't
it's
believe
I
them
don't know. Like
anymore.
3 years ago, it seemed because it was like, oh yeah, it seemed a bit more serious, but it just suddenly disappeared. And yeah, I mean, have you ever been to? I guess whereabouts in South Africa are you?
Me, I'm in Joburg,
Oh yeah,
Gauteng, Lions. That's my
oh
team,
yeah, the
boy.
big smoke. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's how Kylam is that? Whereabouts is that in South
It's not
Africa?
too far from me. It's not too far from me. It's like about an hour's drive from me. It's
Oh
near,
okay.
yeah, it's in between, like, if I would put it in between where the Lions would be situated and the Bulls, if you would
Oh
understand.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Oh
if you
okay.
look at the distance, it would be in between those two stadiums, in Centurion Midrand side.
Oh okay. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the best way to
I've
explain it.
seen I've seen races on it, and it looks really cool. Like, I mean, I think
I used to
I
have
don't
an
know
I used to
what.
have an Xbox One with Assetto Corsa, man. That's like one of the best tracks to just drive on that game.
Yeah,
Like I really love
because of
driving that
like
track.
it's got like changes in the what's it, terrain. It's like all these hills. It's like
Yeah, goes up and
yeah,
down,
the
and
standard
it's
track. It's like
very
yeah, and there's some fast corners. Yeah, and they've raced there for
that,
years. I mean they've raced F1 since the 1970s. So it's like it's like one of the
but
classic
fun
circuits.
fact, that circuit actually closed down, and I think it was reopened in 2015 or something like that.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so that technically that circuit closed down. They reopened it and modified it, so they changed the layout a bit.
Yeah, obviously they
Right.
wouldn't have like something from like I think the was it when was the last South African
Last
Grand
time they raced
one?
it was 93, I think. 93 or 4.
Oh
Long
yeah,
before.
yeah. I've seen. Is that Williams one? I think Alan. Oh yeah, that's the one Damon Hill spun out of, wasn't it? Or, yeah,
I'm not
it was
sure. I
a
wasn't
Williams.
born. I didn't watch the race. I was just
I was
fairly
7, but I sort of
knowledgeable.
read about it. It's like, oh yeah, Damon. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sort. Yeah, I mean, I was 7, but and I certainly wouldn't have watched that one. But I read about it. It's like, oh yeah, because that was like Ayrton Senna, Alan Prost. It's like, oh yes, yeah, those.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it was a couple years before I was born, so I would have loved to watch the race. But
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
bit
Oh my God, yeah,
just fairly knowledgeable about classic F1. I
yeah.
wouldn't say
Oh, that's a
like
great.
very, just fairly.
Sometimes
I
it's nice.
just like I like researching sport and history and like different sports teams. Like I want to tell you something very interesting quickly, right?
Yeah,
You know Algeria rugby team? You probably don't.
I'm sure. I mean, I would have. I think most countries have a rugby team, but yeah, like I wouldn't. What about Algeria?
Algeria, they are a sleeping giant. We are waiting to awaken because they haven't been playing any big rugby games, right? But they've started playing professionally in 2015,
Oh,
and they've
okay.
been on a tear. They've played teams like Egypt, Ivory Coast, Ghana,
Right.
Kazakhstan, Kenya, and all of those guys, right? Out
Okay.
of 22 games, they've won 16 of them. I mean,
That's pretty impressive. Yeah, yeah.
that's something to be watched. Like the last time this site that I found it on was updated was in 2020, but I know the other day they beat a team 20 places higher than them on the world rankings.
Right.
And I think they beat Uganda actually that
Oh
game.
yeah.
So I
Oh,
just found that out by chance because, like I said, I like just when I go onto Wikipedia, I like to click onto different teams, just see what
oh
they've been
yeah.
doing, and just like I was like, hey, let's see what they've been doing. I don't know. I just
Yeah,
find it
yeah.
interesting.
That's
You
and
see,
it's interesting how they've actually got a professional competition in Algeria.
I'm not even sure. I just know about the
Yeah.
international team a bit.
Oh yeah. I was
But
like, thinking like, yeah.
another interesting thing there, they've only tried to qualify for the World Cup once, and in that qualifying tournament, they ended third. So they almost qualified for the World Cup on their very first attempt.
Nice. Oh well. Yeah. Yeah. It's always nice to see these little nations, and yeah, I guess it's a little nice segue into rugby. Yeah. But yeah. Actually, do you know who? I'll just ask you who's of all the nations, not just tier 1, tier 2, etc. Who's got the most consecutive uh wins in international rugby?
Well, there's only one team, and that's the All Blacks.
Yeah, but yeah, they've got a tier 1, but it's not. Yeah, there's another team ahead of them.
Let's talk about another one of maybe Georgia. I think it might be Georgia because Georgia won a lot. I know that.
No, nope, it's not them. I mean, it's the same continent.
Okay, then I'm not sure because I know Georgia wins a lot because they play a lot of tier two nations and they win a lot. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
they, if I'm not mistaken, I think Georgia's win loss percentage might be on par with New Zealand actually.
Oh, I've got to look that up. Yeah, it's
Yeah, because I
actually
know they win a lot.
So you're right with New Zealand. Like they've got 18. They're the top for a tier 1 nation tied with England. Um, but it's actually Cyprus least has the most consecutive wins on 24. So they didn't lose a match between 20th November 2008 until 1st November 2014.
That's
And
actually very interesting.
yeah. I think was it? I'm just reading this. Can't be
So I'm gonna
oh,
open this as well.
14.
'Cause like I
I
said,
was
I
gonna.
just really love.
I was gonna say they're I thought no, no Andorra. So I think their last win was against Andorra. I thought it was like no, Andorra didn't. Andorra, do you know Andorra?
Yeah, I do. They also have a
Yeah,
rugby team. Weirdly
yeah,
enough,
yeah. I was gonna say I thought no, Andorra didn't beat Cyprus. No, they lost 39-20 to Latvia. So yeah, 24. That's like
It's
So that's
not
like
bad
nearly
actually.
6 year. Yeah, and yeah, but yeah. It's like it's funny looking at all these records, and then yeah, yeah, but yeah,
Ivan, you know Nas Botha, our South African legend.
oh yes, yeah, yeah.
You know what he's been up to lately?
What's he been up to? Yeah.
He's coaching the Indian rugby team.
Ah, okay. Ah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
How long's he been doing? How long has he been coaching them?
I'm not sure for how long, but I know. But yeah, all I know is he's been coaching them recently.
Oh, not. Oh, that'd be. How he'd be? Is he like in his 60s? He'd be 60s,
Yeah,
late
he's
60s.
fairly
Yeah, yeah.
old,
Mid
but he's got
70.
a
Yeah,
lot of knowledge.
yeah. I've heard of him. He's yeah, yeah. No,
Okay.
yeah.
But
It's
I have my interesting fact for you now that I wanted to tell you now. If you
yeah,
look at South Africa's win-loss percentage, right, we have a 63% winning rate across our history of playing rugby, which is pretty decent, right?
yeah.
If you look at Georgia, they're at 62% win rate.
Wow.
Because once
Oh,
again, they
God.
play mostly tier two nations, but they beat them every single year. If you look at the championship Georgia plays in, right, the Rugby Europe Championship,
Yeah.
they win that thing every single year, and I'm not even lying to you.
They've got to be moved up, surely. Like did you see the Wallabies Georgia game?
I did, but there's nowhere
Yeah,
for them to go because they technically as high as
it
they
is.
can because the Six Nations is like a private
It is.
tournament.
It's like
They can
yeah.
invite them. They're keeping
It's
themselves hostage.
it is. And that's it's similar with Sansa. It's like yeah, like it's amazing Argentina got invited. It was like
Yeah.
because it's like wow, how are you gonna? I mean, they thought like oh I guess like Six Nations is a bit older, and it's like but yeah, having
Yeah.
said that, they added Italy. It was the five nation. So I mean,
If
it's
you
not an
look at it
excuse.
this way, if you look at it this way, Georgia has won the championship, the Rugby Europe Championship, every year from 2008 up until last year, except for 2017, they finished second. The rest of it is a win all the way.
Who won in 2017?
I'm not actually sure. Let's check.
We should look it up. Is it?
Uh,
I've got to find this
Romania.
percent. Oh yeah, yeah. Was that the one where the was that the year? Wasn't that the year or something? Or something crazy where Romania, Spain, and what was it? Romania, Spain got disqualified from the rug. They got kicked out of the Rugby World Cup because they colluded with each other to lose. Or was that the same? Was it 27? I think it might have been that one where it was. Yeah, it was really bizarre. Oh yeah, what? Yeah, so
That's the
uh,
Romania won it.
yeah, it was Belgium. Yeah, so the 2017, that was the one which Romania won. It was also a qualifier. It was like a tournament. It was to they
Qualified
effectively
for
was
the
like
World
for
Cup.
the yeah. And what happened? So Georgia already qualified. So I guess maybe that's why they didn't win. Who knows? But yeah, so Belgium, Romania. Yeah, it was like Belgium, they had what couple of ineligible players, and then Romania had an yeah, all Romania, Spain, they all had an ineligible players, so they ended up like they got yeah, they ended up being disqualified or something. So I think that's how Russia got in. So that yeah,
Yeah,
I remember that
29.
news. Yeah,
That
yeah,
sounds about realistic, but I'm not gonna lie to you. That was before I got very into these lower rugby. That's before I knew most of these countries even played rugby, because you don't
yeah,
hear
yeah.
about them in South Africa ever, like never.
Right, okay.
Me, I found out by that by chance. I'm the
Yeah,
only one
yeah,
who watches Georgian rugby in South Africa. I'm the only one that I know of who watched Brazil. Yo, I can't believe Brazil lost that other game, my friend.
yeah. Who did they play?
They played against Hong Kong, but I'm
Oh,
promising you they would have won.
Hong Kong.
No, Hong Kong is actually higher than them on the rankings. Hong Kong is like 7 places higher than
Not
them.
bad, yeah, but you think Brazil with like what?
No, but if you look at
They,
what happened, Brazil was up by 6 points. They had a line out, right?
yeah, yeah,
With 10 seconds on the clock. They took the line out, or there was like a minute on the clock, but they took the line out. They took the ball, went down to the ground, passed, went down again. They should have just continued, right? Just take the ball, go down, get the ball out again. No, they kick the ball directly. They take it into the 22, kick it out directly into touch. They give Hong Kong a line out on their 22 with 10 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, yeah.
They end up scoring in the corner, kicking the conversion, winning by 1 point.
Oh my goodness.
I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that. Like, I promise you, it was like
Yeah, it's like that's the Cardinals. It's like, yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah,
they
but
left it with 10 seconds left.
they needed Scott. I think, yeah, because you should know that because Scott, Scott Robertson, he's the current All Black Razor, the current All Blacks coach.
Yeah.
He, I think he did some work he worked with Brazil for a little bit. I think, yeah, I'm not sure how long it was. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere. Actually, maybe I'm telling an old wives' tale, but I'm pretty. Yeah, he was actually one of the coaches in 2012, 2013. It was like, yeah, that's such a
In
random.
fact,
That was
that is
probably.
a very interesting thing. I
It
think
was
I
like,
also
oh
watched
yeah.
a video about him early, like last year. I watched a video about him because, like, I don't know if anybody else finds the coaches interesting, but I kind of do.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
what but Eddie Jones returning to Japan, hey, he hasn't gotten the welcome he thought. Hey, it's been
No,
tough.
that's a little bit of a train wreck. So they haven't won a game under him, have they, since he
They
returned?
have not,
No,
and
they got smashed by England and that
they
they.
got destroyed by Italy.
Yeah. Oh yes, I saw that. Yeah, yeah. You were telling me about that one.
But even if
Yeah,
you look
and
at the world rankings right at the moment, the world rankings as well, Italy, I think they're eighth at the moment.
they are actually on the up. Like they were. Yeah, they. It's
And
tough
they're
with
slowly
Italy
but
because they had
surely
some
going
bad
up.
years. Yeah, South Africa's still top. Yep. Yeah, yeah. I mean Ireland. Yeah, New Zealand's third. Yeah, I was gonna. So yeah, I mean I was gonna tap up. So, what are your thoughts on the last the three game? The three games South Africa played in the last few weeks.
I'm happy with how they played in the first game because obviously you can't really be disappointed with a win, let's be honest.
No,
And then if
especially
you
against
look at
Ireland. Yeah, they're good.
exactly,
Yeah.
and if you look at the second game, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed, but I feel we could have played better. There was a lot of mistakes left on the field.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's but against the Portugal game, I mean, there's not really a lot to take away from that game because it
No,
wasn't really a close game, and we never expected it to be close. To be honest, Portugal did good scoring three
they
times.
played really well. I was like, I mean, it's like, yeah, and I
That's what
think
I'm
was that
saying.
did they
So
score a try from the other? What's that? I'm
I
thinking of
think they
Georgia.
did actually. I'm not sure
From
either,
one end,
but
they scored a try from their own line, was it, or somewhere close to that? Or am I thinking of Georgia? They're all blurs because they've got the similar colors and like
yeah,
red and
but
red. It was like that was it
they
was
really
like
played well. I
they
can't really
did.
complain. It's
Yeah,
just
they
unfortunate. But luckily they couldn't lose any world ranking points, because we are too far ahead of them. So
no, no. It's yeah. I
that's what
mean,
I'm happy for. They didn't lose anything by losing to us.
no.
It's not like I think Georgia actually lost points for losing against Australia because they were so close to them.
Yeah.
Georgia is
This is
actually
such a
still
crazy system. Yeah,
Georgia is just 4 world ranking points away from Australia.
that is
They're two away.
insane.
They're two away from passing Wales at the
Australia
moment.
nines. Yeah, yeah,
Georgia
yeah.
is on 12. Just Wales isn't even in the top 10, and you would expect them to be there.
Mm, it's not really gone. Yeah, like because Warren Gatlin's gone back there, and like he said he was happy to resign, but they turned it down and said no, you've got to stay. And uh,
Yeah.
it's a funny one. I'm like, yeah, when I heard Warren Gatlin was going back to Wales, I was like, yeah, are you sure about this? Because I mean, he came back. So he came back after his Wales stint to New Zealand. He coached the Chiefs. Um, but yeah, they didn't win a single. I mean, it was 2020, so it was how they started Super Rugby like we knew, and then they had to stop it because of COVID and because can't
Yeah.
travel to can't travel anywhere. So then they restarted the com. It was like Super Rugby New Zealand, Aotearoa New Zealand. So it was just like the five New Zealand Super Rugby teams playing each other. Was it home and away? I can't remember, but yeah, but the Chiefs didn't win a single game. And then apparently there was like I don't know, it's all wives' tale. I heard it on yeah, it's like apparently Warren Gatlin kind of clashed with the players and the Chiefs, and it was like, so they kind of like, all right, we're gonna make you technical directors, so it's like you're not gonna be coaching, so we'll put you up in the in the front office, and then they got Clayton McMillan to take over, and then it's like, Wales is ask, and then Wales like, Wales wants Warren Gatlin back, so it was like, okay, bye. It was like, see you later, and it was like, okay, so it was like, yeah, it's quite crazy how like I think because there was sort of a time when like Ian Foster was like, oh yeah, he's there. I mean, Steve Henson finished, and then it was like, who's going to be next All Blacks coach? And then they were like, it's Ian Foster, Scott Robertson, and then I guess Warren Gatlin was going to be in there, but the way just didn't pan out. It's like, nah, no one. Now it's like, yeah, no, you wouldn't even touch Warren Gatlin at all. It's like, yeah, so
Yeah.
but yeah, it's no, we're pretty happy. I mean, we've got a new coach as well. So I mean, new players, and so I was,
We're happy with our coach, I'm not gonna lie.
England were good, yeah. England were actually pretty decent, I thought. Yeah, I mean, they've
I mean,
uh,
England, they took it to New Zealand. They almost beat you guys on both occasions. They were
yeah,
in both games.
yeah.
I
Like
mean,
Dunedin, they probably should. I think Dunedin, yeah, like both games they
yeah,
had chances. I mean, Eden Part, like once Bone Barrett came on and was like, and Eden Part's like, it's like
funny
who
story,
beat
right?
who beats the All Blacks there? Yeah.
Funny story. That exact same day, I asked my one friend, dude, does he think Bowden Barrett will be one of the greats of all time for New Zealand? He tells me no, he thinks he'll be a good player, but he won't be one of the greats. I, I think it was 5 seconds after he came on, he's like, Bowden does something. He's like, nah, I think he's going to be one of the greats.
He's the best super sub. Like, he's gonna be. It's quite funny because he's yeah, like, and I guess it's kind of like now modern sports. Like, just because it's not about the 15, it's about the whole 23, and like, it's
That
just
is
Barrett
true.
awesome. Yeah, like Barrett's just so much better as a super. Like, when
He's
as an
good coming
impact
from the
player.
bench. He knows
Yeah,
what
it's
he
like
does.
he's fresh. No one can catch. He's like he can run. He's the fastest player around. It's like if you're
Very
tired, it's like
explosive. He's
fuck,
very
good luck.
explosive coming off the
Good
bench.
luck. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
what the adrenaline the teams need.
yeah.
But one thing
I
I also want to bring up, and sorry, another point I want to quickly bring up now, since we're talking about, rugby in the Pacifics in general. Interesting, another fact for you. Spain beat, I think it was Tonga
They
this
beat
weekend.
Tonga in Nuku'alofa. Yeah, over there. That was that was crazy.
That's
I was like,
something.
I
That's
mean,
something.
Tonga, like, I don't know, Tonga a bit funny. It's like, but yeah, no, I mean, Spain going there to win. It's like that's incredible. Yeah,
But they
but
also got close to beating Samoa as well. So I mean, we can't. I guess we can't, underestimate them from now onwards. Maybe they
mm,
can beat these bigger tier two nations from now on. Maybe they can. Maybe they're putting their names in the hat to be the next Portugal.
yeah, I mean,
Well,
Portugal
I can't
can't be
really say
that
that.
far from pushing. I mean,
Yeah,
Portugal beat Fiji at the last Rugby World Cup. It was like, yeah, that.
exactly. That's what I
So
mean. But if you look at it also, what Portugal lost this year against Belgium, so maybe
that's
Belgium's the
crazy.
go.
Who
But
knows?
that was also a very tight game. It's the only
They
game
had the
they lost up until the final, where they also lost.
Yeah, yeah. It's good seeing like more rugby. I think like the last Rugby World Cup was you see all the I thought like you still see the scores aren't as big as they used to be. So it's good
It's
seeing
not
like,
a
your
hundred
Portugal,
anymore.
Uruguay. Yeah, yeah. It just now teams are like, they're just getting
So
better and
that's
yeah.
what I'm telling you. When the world is catching up, South Africa and
Mm,
New Zealand, we must enjoy our time at the top while it lasts. Try and pat our stats
yeah.
as long as we can.
Oh yeah, like we'll still be top for all. I mean, it'll be top for a bit longer. I mean, it's gonna. I mean, just I guess yeah, but I mean, certainly it is getting more competitive. Which is good. Yeah, I mean, the ironic. You know what? I guess because the World Cup's going to be in the US in 8 years. Was it 2032? But yeah, apparently, like yeah, and you're talking about, I think, were you talking about the Scotland tour?
Yeah.
US and Canada, they've just like, they've
To be
just
fair,
gone.
I feel America actually did better than everybody says because I mean, for most of the game, they were fairly competitive. They just couldn't keep up with the Scottish. The same with the Chile
Yeah,
game. They started the first half. They started good for about 20 minutes, and then they fell off at the end of the half. It's the same
yeah.
with Chile. Chile started well. They were in the first 20 minutes. They were in the game. Scotland, the score was 3-7 or something.
That's Scotland's a really good team. I mean, like, yeah, like I've
That's what
watched
I
them in the
mean.
Six Nations. They're good. I mean, they
Scotland
may
is
even say they underperform a little bit. It's like they can't win these big games. Like that's yeah, but
Scotland is good. I personally love like Scotland as a team. They're one of my favorites.
yeah.
I feel they're underrated, and they were shafted in the last World Cup.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Everyone loves the Scots, like, football. I mean, they might, I guess it's sort of like they're the underdog. Brave, was it uh William Wallace? They're always like fighting against the odds, and but yeah, yeah, it's like yeah, but no, it's yeah, no,
I,
they're a good team, and yeah, yeah,
but I'm
um,
not gonna lie to you. Over the last, as we were speaking about like America and Scotland now, but America, they've been very disappointing actually on this tour because I mean they didn't even play very well against Scotland first of all because I know like I'm a big fan of American rugby, for some reason. I don't know. I just think it's
oh,
weird,
yeah,
and I like seeing them play rugby.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love watching America just play. I don't know. It's weird in my like because you say used to seeing them play football. I just like watching them play rugby, and I always root for the underdog. So,
yeah.
but funny
It
enough,
should.
they're not as bad
There's
as
a
they. I'm
yeah.
a Highland fan. What can I say?
It's a weird scenario. It's like just the US, because oh yeah, I was gonna say, if you yeah, there's this guy called there's a guy called this YouTube channel called The Touchback. It's run by this guy named Cheyenne. He's based in the US, but he follows like yeah, he's and I think he does comment on my stuff. Yeah, if you're looking at The Touchback, he's American, and yeah, yeah, he does follow all the Aussie Kiwi sports. Pretty much, yeah. He does his channel similar like mine, but yeah, he's saying like he talks about Major League Rugby and the US, and it's
I've
kind
also
of
been following that. They in the conference finals now. We actually had another upset. The team that went top of the log in the West got beaten by the team that went fourth on the log. So they barely made
which
it into the
which
playoffs.
competition is this? Is this
The
Major
Major
League
League
Rugby?
Rugby.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, okay. They're
Uh,
yeah. We can
the
we can.
favorites. Yeah, the favorites just got knocked out of the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the favorites just got knocked out now.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Basically,
I mean, I yeah, I've seen bits of it, and yeah, I mean, it's good to see it there. Like, it'll be interesting. I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I mean, obviously, cause I mean, right now, like US, Canada, they've got the football World Cup, so I think all the attention's on there on football soccer right now, and like the MLS is like, it's now expanding. There's always like some new team. Like next year there's going to be a team in San Diego probably. There's like
yeah.
32, there's more teams than in the Premier League as well. I mean, it's such a bit. I mean, we've got two conferences, but yeah, it's kind of like they've got the World Cup in 2 years time, so there's a lot more attention and money in there. And so you wonder, like, they set Major League Rugby up now. How's that going to, and there's all these teams that keep pulling out or coming back in. Like I think New York, Toronto,
Yeah,
they
those two
pulled out,
got
come back
those two
in.
folded,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
no, those two folded completely, and then they have a new team in Miami, and then World Rugby also started a new team with Major League with the USA Eagles in Charlotte, Anthem.
Ah,
So
okay.
those are the
So
new teams.
is that like a US is that like a is that US, when you mean USA Eagles, is that like the
The
actual
international
team,
team,
like
yeah, they
like the Jaguares almost, or something like, or is it
kind
like the
of.
Jaguar?
What they did
Ah,
is what no, what happened was like World Rugby and the American Eagles, they want to improve the quality of rugby in America. So they funded together to start a new team, a quote unquote development team for them to develop players and
And
improve,
it's in the major. It's in Major League Rugby.
Yeah, but the problem is with that, they suck, honestly. I'm not even going to lie to you. They're the only team who couldn't win a single match, and even the other new franchise won 5 games.
Jeez, that's
And
not
then they're
good.
in the upper conference. So, I don't know. I felt they should have just saved the
That
New York
is a
franchise or the
disaster.
Toronto
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
It
Are
just
they
would have
like?
been better.
Are
They're
they
just
like?
bad.
Are they? Were they like? You know, development players
Mhm.
like what? Teenagers just playing with the
No,
men.
I think it's no. There is a couple of people who has played before, but it's like four young players to go in. But once again, I don't. You're not going to develop anyone if you just put them amongst the young
Nah, they're
players.
gonna lose. Yeah, it's like that
If
just
you had
feels.
the
Yeah,
smarter option, something else they could have done. They could have saved like New York or Toronto, used all of their trade all of their best players, for draft picks, and then build a team like you
yeah,
would rebuild one in basketball. If you understand
yeah.
what I mean.
That's kind of. Yeah, that's like kind of
Why don't you
embarrassing.
just try to do that?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know. That was like, but yeah, like I was saying about America underperforming, they actually lost to Romania as well now on the store,
yeah,
which Canada ended up beating them, by the way. And then
yeah,
they also lost to Scotland by 40-7. But if you look
yeah,
at the last time America played, right? They played in Spain, that little tournament with it was a four-team tournament between them, Brazil, Canada, and Spain. Spain
yeah,
beat Canada by like 50 something points, right, to make it to the final. They
yeah,
beat
yeah,
Spain by like 42-12 or something like that.
yeah,
So the
yeah,
fact
yeah,
that they underperformed this, I was like, I'm not like, I just think they really underperformed because I know they can beat Romania and I know they are better than Canada. But
yeah.
they, I don't know.
It's so fun. Yeah, and because I was
Maybe the focus just wasn't there that
they
week.
play rugby. Like rugby's existed in the US for probably about the same time as New Zealand, but for some, obviously, there's evolved. They've gone, it's sort of evolved into like American football, but like essentially, yeah. I mean, America, it's pretty much the same. You think it's the same type of physique that you need, and well, I mean, apart from being linebacker, because those guys in the NFL are just overweight, but it's kind of like weird how it's just how why this they've got the players. It's like how are they so bad? It's like it's so bizarre. I guess you
No,
can say
if
that
you
about
look
the
at
US.
it like that, you can't really discredit their rugby because the rugby in America it gets drowned. It's flooded
Oh,
with too many
yeah,
sports
yeah.
in America.
It's
People have
yeah.
too
I mean,
many
it's good.
options. Like their best rugby players aren't the best players for rugby in their country because a lot of them would, prefer to go play something else.
They'll be college. Yeah, yeah. They're college players. Yeah, and or what in the army, navy.
But the thing is, no,
Yeah.
if you look at American college, the college rugby game in America is actually very big. You must go check out the
Mm.
Rugby Network. It's a free website you can go. They have all the Major League Rugby games and college games, but you just go
Oh,
have
is
a
that?
browse. You don't have to go watch them. Just go look around. They see how many college games they broadcast. High school games there, college games. Rugby is growing in America. It
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
really. They've got more college rugby in America than we have in South Africa. Like more
yeah.
teams.
Of course, yeah, because their college, their
It's
colleges are
big
pretty
that
much like professional teams. If you see their
exactly. It's big
American
that side, but
football,
understand what I
yeah,
mean. They're
college
putting
gridiron
effort
program
into
is
it.
ridiculous. And yeah, yeah. But I guess yeah, that's the thing. But at least the one thing they're doing right is like they're not trying to compete like with the NFL, and like they play in the window
Yeah,
after the Super Bowl, so that's kind
yeah.
of good. It means like they can't because yeah they'll be like
And before
suicide
the
trying to
NFL
compete.
starts, because their final is in like 2 weeks' time, so
Yeah, yeah.
only got
Um,
this week left with the conference finals, and then next week for the whole Major League Rugby final,
yeah,
Shield,
yeah,
whatever they call it.
yeah. Oh, sorry, I was just sorry, a bit distracted because I was just looking at something. Do you know this is not rugby, but do you know Leeds United?
Leeds, yes, they play football.
Yeah, yeah. So they look. I think they've come out with a new logo. Sorry, going a bit off topic here, but you
No,
can't
it's all
see this.
good.
So
Google it
find their
quickly.
old look. So their logo. They I think they might have changed their logo. So I'm not sure this is in. I'll have to find this out.
Wait, what?
So
The man doing like this. Yeah, I just
that's their
googled it.
that's their current logo.
Yeah, and then
Um,
the new one is the guy doing
have you
this.
seen the new logo?
I just googled it now.
It's like, what is that?
I hope not, honestly.
That's on the away jersey. Yeah.
That just looks bad.
Oh my.
Honestly.
Because they got so Red Bull took over part of the club, so it's like yeah, a bit of a joke, like oh Red Bull leads or yeah,
But
so
that's one thing, eh? Red Bull is not a sports drink company anymore. That's a
no,
sports company.
oh
With
they've
they just
scaled
have
past
a
that
sports drink. They just have a sports drink.
because they make money from they yeah like it. They well, people always buy Red Bull, and so they'll have the constant stream. It's just yeah, now they just focus on the sport, and
They
they've
don't
got
even
so
need to sell the drinks anymore because they've been making so much money from their sports.
yeah, they don't have it's like they don't need to advertise. It's like oh yeah, no Red yeah, then people know what it is. So
Everybody
yeah,
knows
yeah,
Red Bull. But
yeah.
let me ask you this now. The American rugby, take a guess. When do you think they played their very first game of rugby? Take a guess in era, like the
Like
2010, like,
the
the
their first
1980s,
test
30s. Now, they're America's very first game. They lost 8-12
was that
to
that.
Australia.
So you're
That's
talking
actually
about
surprised me.
like test matches,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
international games.
the very
Was it?
first international game.
Oh, it would be the isn't it? Would have been the all. I think it was the All Blacks or England. Would have been in the 1890s or something. Oh no, not in the 1890s. Maybe was it the 1906 the Invincibles tour by the All
You are
Blacks? I think
close. It was in 1912. They played against
1912.
Australia. They played against Australia. Apparently, that was their very first
Yeah,
international
would have been
game.
in like, California or something. Because they,
It was
they
in
probably
California. You are right.
they all because they the do you know about the Invincibles, the All Blacks
I
Invincibles?
actually have heard about it
Not the
after winning the
Invincibles.
World Cup. They went on this big tour of, I don't know, places. I saw a TikTok video about it.
Yeah, I think actually not the Invincibles. That's the 1924-25 All Blacks. There was a team before that. It was the one they
I don't
play.
know. I've
Yeah,
only heard about the
they
Invincibles.
I think they toured the U.S. Oh no, they didn't play Oh, they played British Columbia in Berkeley in what? So they didn't actually play the U.S. But I think
That makes
it was
sense.
the next tour. Yeah, so they would have. Yeah, because they were on their way back from Europe, so they stopped. Like I think they were taught to play a game in the US because it's like, oh, might as well. The ship's stopping on, you might as well play. Spread the game. But yeah, yeah, no.
How
But
well do you know that? No, sorry.
that's the thing though. Like it's like rugby's existed for ages in the US, and it's just like, yeah, how are they like that? So yeah,
Yeah, you know the Sale Sharks, right? And do you know any of their players
Sale Sharks. Oh, is that the
or any
English
of the,
Premiership?
yeah, or any of their former players?
Luke McAllister.
Do you know AJ McGinty?
No,
He
not
used to
really.
play
No.
player. He actually played over 107 games for those guys. He's actually the captain of America's rugby team.
Is he still the current cap? So he's still playing.
Yeah, he still
Yes.
plays currently for them. He's now plays for Bristol.
Oh, okay.
Since
Yeah,
2020,
yeah.
yeah. He's
Oh,
the
okay. I
Yeah,
knew
America
was
actually has a lot of people playing not in like the states that's listed on their roster. Eh?
they'll
It's
be in.
weird.
Yeah, they'll be in. All the really good players will be in Europe. Like I remember. Do you remember Todd? Oh, do you remember Todd Clever?
Todd Clever, no, I don't know him.
He's oh, he had. Oh, he yeah. If you see his face or his appearance, you
Probably figure
he
out
played
who
in
he
South
is.
Africa. I think I'm pretty. He played in South Africa. He's the first American to play in Super Rugby. I think he probably played for the This guy. Hang on if I can. Sorry.
No, no, I'm not
I'll
sure with
Google it.
that.
Yeah, yeah. He's retired now. He played for the He played for the Lions.
No, no, no. Now I'm sad, because that's like my favorite team. I am like a lion for life.
Although 0910, 2010. Yeah, but no, he was the first. Tell clever. He was the first. He was the ex-captain. He's the most capped player in U.S. rugby history, and he's the first American to play Super Rugby. So yeah,
See
yeah, and
that?
it's, gotta look him up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember when he played Super Rugby. It's like, oh, that's cool. Yeah,
What position?
he would have been in the. Oh, was he in the forwards? I can't. Oh no, he's definitely a forward. I can't. Was he in the back row? Flanker. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, he was in the. He even played for North Harbour. Huh. In New Zealand, that's North Harbour's that. It's like yeah, it's like Auckland's got three provinces,
I
counties.
don't know.
North Harbour. Yeah, but no. I
Uh,
remember. Yeah, I mean, you can't miss like he had the curly dreadlocks. Like, oh yeah, can't miss him. So
I'll
yeah,
find him. But you know,
yeah,
Ned,
yeah.
interesting thing I found out the other day as well. The Sharks currently have a player that's from New Zealand, right? But he also played in America rugby.
Who
But
would
I'm not
that
sure.
be? It'll be some. I can always
Probably
look it
not
up.
someone very
I
famous.
so I follow. Yeah, I Northern Hemisphere rugby, like the club competitions. Look, actually, you know what? I actually follow the URC because I kind of miss the South African teams because so I've kind of like obviously rugby championship, the South African teams, like just kind of just so I do kind of follow them, but I mean, obviously it's between September and like May because of the there's football Premier League and all that, and so it's a bit tricky to and then
I
there's
always
NFL
say to
between
tell
September
you that is
January.
now.
Yeah.
I also didn't used to follow the European rugby up until we joined the European rugby.
Yeah, what are your thoughts? How do you find it? Like South Africa playing with the Northern Hemisphere teams?
Find it strange, but I like it because I don't know, it's just something different, and it's less time for me to wake up at 3 in the morning to watch South Africa versus a team from New Zealand,
Australia,
or
yeah,
an
yeah.
afternoon, or Australia or whatever.
It was the same with
Those,
us, I guess. Yeah, yeah, because we had to get up.
uh,
We'd have to get up like 3 or 5 or 1 a.m. to watch. I remember watching the Super Rugby final in watch at 2 a.m. The Sharks and the Bulls. I was like, that was when I was much younger, but I was like, yeah,
exactly. You
what
see,
we
so
missed.
I'm
Yeah,
fine. But I'm
to
not gonna
South
lie, just playing against, the Crusaders, the Highlanders. Oh, I miss the Highlanders and the Rebels. Oh, I can't believe they done. At least they made the
Yeah,
playoffs in the last year.
that's a bit sad. I mean, to be fair, no one's really surprised, and I work with people from Melbourne, and they don't even know what the Rebels are. It's like, oh, what's that? And they didn't. The thing is, like
I'm a
Australian
Rebel.
rugby. Australian rugby. The sad thing with Super Rugby is, with you guys gone, it's so New Zealand. The other biggest partner is Australia, and which is not great because Australian rugby is kind of like they've been the whole organization's been bad for like the last 15 years. It's they always had good players, but it's just I don't know, it's hemorrhage. Like rugby's kind of because in Australia, I guess you've got Aussie rules, you've got Aussie rules in Victoria, you've got NR and
Too
South Australia, and
confusing. It's too. There's too much.
NRL, and NRL is just getting NRL is actually getting stronger and stronger. There's
I'm
more
not a
TV
fan of
money.
NRL or rugby league. Sorry, but I don't like rugby league. That's the one
Yeah,
sport we found it. That's the one sport because it's not my rugby.
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean the New Zealand, the couple of the All Blacks probably should watch a bit of NRL because they got beaten by those cross kicks. But anyway, yeah. But the thing is, it's just that's kind of suffocated Australian rugby. So, and that's kind of it's like there's no the only real competition the New Zealand teams have right now is amongst themselves or Fiji. The Fijian
That
Drone
is
is like, oh
true.
yeah, that's the bright spot. Yeah, yeah. Um.
Uh,
So
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, the Rebels, yeah, no, it's not great. Yeah, I mean, because it was it's 12 teams, so it's gonna be 11 teams. It's like, how's that going? And it's like, who are they gonna add? There's like, no one wants.
Let's
They
quickly
kind of,
just speak about Fiji. I don't know. Personally, I'm disappointed with their performance against the All Blacks. Not that I expected them to win, but I expected them to put up a bigger fight.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't. I think it was. I mean, I
I just
guess,
expected them to score a couple of times. Because, I mean, they
yeah.
are good at
They
scoring, to be
they did have
honest.
a few opportunities. Yeah,
That they
it's
threw away. I'm personally just disappointed in them. Not like I said, I didn't expect them to win it, but I expected
no.
them to, at least come in within 20 points or 25 points.
Yeah, it's
Not.
funny. Yeah, I mean, I thought that like I mean, yeah, I've been study having now they have the Fijian Druids. Like, yeah, it's definitely really helped. Like, they're definitely a team on the up. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's just that consistency. Like, yeah, I mean, it's just I think playing the All Blacks, and I guess it was in San Diego, and the all like a lot of the old there were a couple. Yeah, I called them the baby Blacks. It's like, well, there's like had a few debutants, so it's like I think they were quite keen
uh,
to have quite keen to show that they had a partner team. But yeah, but oh well, it's just what it is. So yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. So like, is that what we? But what do I guess what do most? Do you know what like most fans think about? I mean, besides, I mean, like in South Africa, do they miss? I mean, apart from the crazy times, do they miss Super Rugby, or are they much happier like playing with the northern teams?
honestly, I don't know. Sometimes South Africans are very weird, especially when it comes to rugby opinions. You know, most of them don't even like Faf de Klerk because, he kicks too much, but that's the game plan. So I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't listen to other South Africans. Or it's the ref or whatever. So,
yeah,
I don't really
yeah,
pay attention to what those guys are saying because I don't know.
yeah,
They're just
yeah.
very opinionated and sometimes they're very wrong and sometimes they're right. I don't know. It's
Mm.
always the ref when your team loses in South Africa. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, it'll be good, like, I mean, at some stage, like the New Zealand or, Super Rugby teams come, maybe, I don't know, they wouldn't like it wouldn't be like a regular competition like Super Rugby, but like, I
But I
don't know,
would
like
love to see
Champions
it.
League, like, play South Africa or European teams, yeah, just, just,
Like a Champions Cup for the Champions Cup.
yeah, yeah,
Featuring
like a World Cup. I don't know how they're gonna
oh
fit
yeah,
it,
a
but
Club World Cup. A Club World Cup would be amazing because
I think
there's also Super Rugby there in South America, but it's not the same Super Rugby,
Super,
but kind of
no, yeah, I think it started by this, yeah, oh
like
no,
3 years ago or something.
I thought they
The
were
Super
looking at.
Rugby America.
Oh, they're saying they're actually talking about a Rugby Union Club World Cup in
I
June
would
2028,
love to see that.
which would be that's the thing though. That's because there's so much rugby. It's like how are you gonna fit it in? It's like this. They've tried it, like Munster, Crusaders, or Toulouse. But yeah, it's like I mean, football's got its World Cup now, so this Club World Cup.
And it's expanding as well, like
Yeah,
very
yeah,
but
yeah. Anyway, hey, we've talked about an hour, so that's
yeah,
great.
we actually have been talking a lot.
No, no, I've been sorry. Yeah, so I guess I might need to wrap up soon because I've got work, but no, it's certainly been good
Yeah,
talking.
I
And
also was thinking of
what do
we
you?
have to get done because my phone is on like 2%. I
Yeah, yeah. So what do you?
have to
I
keep
guess
it
what are your
close to
thoughts?
the charger.
Rugby championship. Who do you think, or what? Who do you think we
My
should?
prediction, I mean, it's going to be too close to call because as the South African, I have to predict us as first. I mean, it's just my confidence speaking. No matter who we play, no matter when we play, I'm always backing South Africa
Yeah,
because,
of
I mean,
course.
South Africa, we always have a chance. It's not like we
Yeah, yeah,
never
yeah,
don't have a chance. I'm not saying we're
yeah,
going to win, but we always have a chance. It's the same with New Zealand. They always have
yeah.
a chance.
We both back each other, and
My
yeah, and like
prediction
the
is
same
South
with Rugby World Cup.
Africa,
Like, oh,
New Zealand.
yeah. What was that? Sorry.
My predictions are South Africa, New Zealand, Argentina, and then Australia. But even though I know I have to go with New Zealand because they kind of dominate, we only win World Cups. That's all.
Yeah, yeah, don't remind me. Yeah, no, it should be interesting. Is there any players we should watch out? Yeah, look, I mean, um, which player, which stuff from the Springboks should we watch out for, like that we might not have heard of?
I don't know. The Springboks, I feel like, there's no real new players. I mean, there's this one new guy. I forgot his name. He's playing at 10. He played 10 this weekend, but he plays for the Stormers, Sasha Feinberg.
Oh
Something,
yeah, okay.
something
Because in
Zulu.
the
He's
Stormers, who's the guy at
he's a new guy, man. He's not too bad. He's been
yeah,
playing. He's been playing lately. He's been pretty good. And then who else
because
really
who
has
was the
been?
other guy? There was the number 10. Who was the guy who played at the World Cup? I can't. Oh,
Mani Labok.
yeah, because there's a lot of like, what's the deal with him? Like, are they? Because it's a bit of like, oh, he's not really. They're saying he's not like. It's like
He's
he's
very
quite
good.
polarizing.
He's a
Like whether he
good
should
player,
be number
but he
10 or
can't kick.
15.
That's the problem. He's a good player, but he can't
Right.
kick.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
have another. And it's not like we have another person that can really kick. Like we need our fly off to kick because we don't really have another.
Where you mean kick like goal kicking?
Yeah, because we don't have
Oh,
another
okay.
kicker who
Oh,
can kick.
yeah.
So we need
And
Pollard or Feinberg to do the kicking. Like I love Mani. Now he's a very good 10. But
he
if you
looks
get
good.
someone
He's
else to
really
do,
skillful. Yeah.
if we had someone else to do the goal kicking, I feel like he would be a perfect fit for us. But we don't have another person to do the goal kicking.
Right.
All our goal kickers suck except Pollard, and
Yeah.
Feinberg can kick as well.
Yeah. 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 It's funny. Yeah. Yeah. I was like similar with like Barrett kicking used to be amazing. But it sort of dropped off. And now I think you say like Damien McKenzie's kicking was okay. Goal kicking was okay. Like it was actually, yeah.
But
He's a lot
Damien
better than
struggled at I think the first test
first test.
where
Yes, he did.
he really did struggle there.
But Dunedin is quite weird because it's an indoor stadium. It's like you think that's the one place you get 100% kicking stats, but it's like no, that's like Johnny Wilk. I was at the World Cup
I
when the
love
Rugby World Cup
him.
was in New Zealand, England or Argentina, and Johnny Wilkinson missed 5 goal kicks, which is like what is going on? It's
I
like there's
love
no
Johnny
win, there's only a
Wilkinson.
draft, so yeah, but no, like D-Max kicking was good in San Diego, so yeah, I mean. I would say maybe for me, Billy Proct, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see who gets. I think it'll be pretty stable for the first few games, but I mean, that we've seen like I think the Fiji game would have been interesting. Like you see also these new players like Satiti and Billy.
Yeah.
Who's getting Matt Billy Proctor. Proctor was really good. Um, I've been trying to think who else. Oh, I mean, yeah, halfback. Yeah, Cortez Ratimer. Yeah, he. I mean, if he's not.
Another person- Yeah, I would just like to bring up another Springbok. I'm not sure if he's selected and if he's injured at the moment because I know I read something about something somewhere. But Kewan Horn, I think he might picked up like a small injury or something, but or he might be selected. I'm not 100% sure. But if he's selected, he is also someone. He's on fullback that
Oh
people
yeah.
keep an eye on. He's
Yeah.
pretty explosive from the fullback. And
Oh
Ewald,
yeah.
and Ewald van der Merwe, he's also a great player, man.
Yeah,
One of
yeah.
my maybe
I've got
because
to
I'm a
look at the
lion.
schedule again because I know we start the first game. I think New Zealand's got.
I think it's,
I think you guys are away in Australia first,
yeah, we're going to
and
Australia
then we
on
play Argentina twice, and then we got
yeah,
come over to yeah. Then we played you guys twice.
it's 2-2-2
Ah,
every time.
yeah, interesting schedule. Yeah.
That is
Oh well, that
actually interesting. Well, I don't know.
yeah.
I
You
don't
might be right about
personally,
South
I don't
Africa.
really like it like that.
Oh
I would
well,
prefer 1-1-1. Then like
it's
we would
so
go to.
weird. Yeah,
I would prefer.
going
I would
away.
prefer. We play a game in Australia. We play one in New Zealand, and then we play Argentina in South Africa. And
Yeah.
as Argentina go up, then those two play us in South Africa before we go to Argentina,
And
and finish
you
it off.
guys are start with Argentina. Is like we're our closest. Because I guess Argentina is close. well, closest to you, although it's like still it's
Uh,
quite far apart the travel between Argentina and South Africa. But Australia and New Zealand's like, oh yeah, we're next to each other and we can swap around. But
no, we're not
it's
very
like you're
close to
stuck with
anyone.
those
Eh?
guys. It's like yeah,
All of our closest rugby opponents aren't really on our level. I'm not gonna lie.
no, well, you're yeah. Hey, anyway, I better. It's good talking to you, and we know we've talked for an hour, but yeah, and your phone might be better wrap it up probably before your phone dies. So, but it's
I
good
got it on
talking,
charge
and
at least,
yeah,
so we can
yeah,
wrap up.
yeah. Oh, it's good talking, and yeah. Well, thanks so much for your time, and yeah, I mean, so it's the sports club. That's your YouTube channel, yeah. I'll
Yes, that is true.
yeah. So no, do check it out. So yeah, cool. All right. Oh, thanks for joining, Weather, and yeah,
No,
I'll just end the
see you
stream
next
now.
time. Eh?
Right. Uh, so I will yeah